Wall Street Journal poll out found that 40% of parents would rather their children choose a different sport than football due to concerns about concussions. So we wanted to let you know there are plenty of aggressive competitions that could serve as alternatives. They'll work your brain, but they won't cause permanent damage. And we're talking about tournaments like the National Scrabble Championship, the World Chess Championship, and the American Crossword Puzzle Tournament, which was documented in the movie Wordplay, where even famous athletes chimed in about the tough nature of puzzling.
Well, every time I go out on the mound, I want to finish the game. It only happens occasionally, and those games are really special. Puzzles can be the same way. You can go through it to a certain point, and then you bring in help from behind you to help close it out, and those days are fun too. Sometimes we'll sit down as a group and try to plow through it as fast as we can, so whoever's doing the writing doesn't even get to look at the clues. They're writing so fast because three people are leaning over your shoulder firing out answers at you.
Joining me now for a fun take on some alternative competitions is Will Shortz, crossword puzzle editor for the New York Times and director of the American Crossword Puzzle Tournament. I was just saying, you have the best job ever out there.
It's great. I love playing with words.
Absolutely. And, you know, I don't think a lot of people understand how Sundays can be not just a Super Bowl day, but it's a Super Sunday because a lot of people wait for that crossword puzzle to come out. How big is the competitive world of a crossword puzzle competition, if you will?
Yeah, well, this year's championship is March 7 to 9 in Brooklyn. We'll have 600 to 700 competitors, about 1,000 enthusiasts altogether.
All right.
And I'd say, you know, an average person, if they can solve a New York Times Sunday crossword at all, you know, it's an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours.
You're just average if you can solve it, is that what you're saying?
But I say the champion, the reigning champion can do it in average 6 to 8 minutes. Really?
That quickly? Okay, we had a teaser earlier about one of the words on there, so we definitely need to get to that before the end of the show. But there are a couple of things I want to ask you about. When it comes to Sundays and puzzles, and they're throughout the week as well, which is the hardest day?
The hardest day is actually Saturday.
It is.
Monday is the easiest. It builds up to very hard on Friday and Saturday. Sunday is a bigger puzzle. It can take you longer, but it's only at about a easy Thursday in difficulty.
How do these games really work with your brain? Obviously, it exercises them, and, you know, it's not the kind of work that they're doing out there on the football field. You're not getting those concussions, but you're really utilizing it in a way that people don't really think of when it comes to a sport, but it can be.
It is a sport. It's a weird sport, as Wordplay showed, but you have people, the top solvers will train on 6, 8, maybe 20 puzzles a day as they get ready for the tournament. And, you know, you might think that's an all-day exercise, but they can do a crossword in 2 minutes. So maybe they can do a whole training program in an hour or so a day.
Well, how fast can you do one?
I'm a pretty good solver, but
I'm
nowhere near Dan Fayer, who's the
really?
National champion currently. And it's just, I think his record solving a New York Times crossword is 1:07, something like that.
Oh, my goodness. I can't even imagine. But is it harder to try to come up with the puzzles than it is to solve the puzzles?
They're different skills. What I do and what the puzzle makers do is creative, and we're trying to play with your brain, but we do want you to get
trying to trick us too a little bit, aren't you?
We try to trick you, but we want you to get the answer eventually. And of course, solving, you just have to know a little of everything, have to be a good speller, have a flexible mind, be able to see through the tricks.
You know, speaking of tricks, I've got to bring this up because this just came out recently, talking about brain activity. Arthur Chu, I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's been playing Jeopardy for a while, and he has actually been winning big time. In fact, the last few nights. But he has an interesting method when he plays. What he does is he's not going for the categories that he knows that he has the answers to. He's actually strategically picking squares that he thinks the daily double lies in. So what that tells me is that a lot of this is all about strategy.
Strategy is so important in any game you do. Some people, as they go into a crossword championship, you know, they change the way they draw the letter E, for example. Most of us do it in 3 or 4 different strokes. You can also do it in one stroke with it's a loop. I'm not sure that really helps you, but, you know, that's a strategy you can try to. And for every split second that you cut off your time, you know, that helps.
Absolutely. You know, we wanted to make sure that we get to before the end of the show the crossword puzzle. I'm going to hold it up. As you can see, it's completely blank because I have done nothing with this today. And plus, I didn't want you to see how bad I am at it. But when we get to, 35 down, okay, this was our little hint earlier. Magazine since 1977 for creative minds at play. Can you give us the answer? We're going to cheat a little bit today.
I'll tell you the answer. Actually, that's kind of cheating of me because I used to be the editor of Games magazine. And by the way, this is a special crossword. Just don't fill in games in the grid.
Don't?
You have to rearrange the letters of games to make a new word that goes in the grid, which I
You're
think
getting all kinds of tricky on us. Not only is it hard enough to solve it, and now you're adding these other things
there's
to
another
it.
twist. Anyway, I think it's mages. Put in mages.
Mages? Oh, backwards, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thanks so much for your time today. We appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun.
It's a pleasure. Thanks.
Puzzle Master Will Shortz. There you have it. Thanks for watching today, everybody. Sunday afternoon, Football Sunday.